వచ్చేసినట్టేనమ్మా అందరూ. ఓన్లీ 7 మెంబర్స్ కేమ్. సో రేపటి నుంచి యాజ్ యూజువల్గా 2K పెట్టుకుందాము. ఇవాళ పవర్ లేక నేను చేంజ్ చేశాను 4:30కి. So students, next see the PPT. Next one, today's topic is fundamentals of torque equation. So fundamentals of torque equation we will discuss later. Until then, there's two single topics, two small topics we will discuss, and after further we will go to the fundamentals of electrical drives. So these are the parts of one of the part of the electric drive. These are called as sources. So the source is the main input to the electrical drive, right? So which type of source we are using, that will be dependable on the appliances we are using, okay, or the application for what we are using. These sources will be dependable, okay. So due to the difference in the appliances or due to the difference in the application, such as suppose if you take electric traction, so this traction drives with separate sources, okay. So these are not unique with the other sources, these will be peculiar, okay. In India we are commonly using single phase and three phases. Two phase are not preferable in India, okay. And what is the frequency of your India means, that is 50 hertz is the constant frequency. Our voltage and current and power all will be working at 50 hertz frequency AC, okay. So almost all the locations in India we know are worked in 50 hertz. So these single phases, so we are discussing about single phase and three phases in India, okay. So these single phases, these are useful for only driving low power drives, okay. And rest power drives except traction drives, these uses three phase, okay. So rest all of the high power drives uses three phase. Actually you can blindly remember that low power drives will be using single phase and high power levels will be using three phases except traction drives, okay. So for 50 hertz, frequency, if you are taking 50 hertz frequency, the maximum speed of the induction motor and synchronous motor, as well as induction motor and synchronous motor, is 3000 revolutions per minute RPM, okay. And coming to the voltage levels, at each voltage level one appliance will be, each appliance will be depending upon the voltage level they will be working. And coming to the voltage levels, if you take low and medium power motors, these work under 400 volts, okay. And high ratings, further high ratings works under 3.3 kV, 6.6 kV, 11 kV, 22 kV, like that, and higher also they can work, okay. So voltages, low power voltages, low and medium motors, high power voltages, high and high motor drives, okay. And coming to the aircrafts and space applications, these are separately designed for 400 Hz AC supply, and these also use high voltages, okay, high voltages. And for high power and weight to ratio of motors will be high also for these aircrafts and space applications. And the main line traction will be using 25 the main line traction will be using 25 kilovolts and at the frequency of 50 hertz. So coming to the underground traction, this uses underground traction system will be using 500 volts to 750 volts DC supply. And coming to the Western India means the location from Bombay to Igatpuri. We use this type of voltage. 1500 volts DC voltage is used in mainline traction and suburban tractions. Okay, so for mainline tractions and suburban tractions, the voltage used is very high of 1500 volts DC. And coming to the source, one of the sources is battery. So battery works on the DC, and battery sources are having a values of 6 volts, 12 volts, 24, 48 in this range, 110 volts like that. Okay, so these are the main sources. These battery sources, these will be used mainly for lift trucks and milk vans like that. These use these vehicles use this battery of having this particular voltages. And next one is control unit. So actually the control unit gives controls to the power modulator, right? In the main diagram, in the main, what are the parts of the electrical drives? If you see that the power modulator gets input from the control unit. Okay, all the firing angles and duty ratios, these of the choppers and firing angles of the thyristors are controlled in the control unit by using low power signals. Okay, so these controls for the power modulator are provided in the control unit. So the nature of this control unit will be dependable upon the particular drive, and depends upon the particular drive used for the power modulators. Okay, there are large number of variations, and there are large number of cases, but due to our satisfactory explanations and simplicity explanations, we are using only here only 2 cases. So if you use semiconductor drives, semiconductor converters, if you use, we are having some types of applications, such as if you use linear and digital integrated circuits, we can control unit which has firing circuits. Okay, so suppose in this combination, if you see a thyristor, suppose if you take a thyristor in this, the firing angle of the thyristor is controlled by the control unit. And if you come to sophisticated control, second one, if you come to the sophisticated control, it has transistors and microprocessors. Okay, so sophisticated means somewhat difficult, somewhat complex control. And next, coming to the switching circuits, what we have discussed is the switching circuits in previous classes. These are used for changing the circuit parameters, circuit quadrants, operations, and reverse braking, such as reverse braking, plugging, like that. So for all these operations, we need switching circuits. These control unit has sequence and interlockings. Okay, so transformer interlockings, capping interlockings, like that, these have some sequence and interlockings. And if you use PLCs, programmable logic controllers, these are very complex, and these use solid state relays. Okay, so these solid state relays will be of automatic or manual in nature. Okay, so these are the different parts of the electric drive. Okay, so far we have discussed what are the parts means. Electric drive parts are, first one is source, second one is power modulator, and third one is type of motor you are using, and fourth one is control unit. And load and sensing unit are not necessary. Next, depending upon our application, we have to choose the electrical drive we want. So we have a choice of electrical drives depending upon these 3 requirements. So first one, steady state operation requirements. So here we observe in the steady state operation requirements, mainly we observe the torque speed characteristics, and after that speed regulation. Torque speed characteristics means the characteristics between the torque and speed before in induction motor. Suppose if you take an induction motor, we will analyze the torque speed characteristics there. If you take the DC motor, there also we analyze the torque speed characteristics. So depending upon the application we are using, we have to select the drive. And speed regulation, second one is speed regulation. Speed regulation also can be analyzed. And next, speed range, what is the range, is it above or below? And efficiency also is the main thing. And duty cycle also we have to consider. And quadrants of operation, whether in four quadrant operation required, or two quadrant operation is required, or single quadrant operation is required, we have to choose. And speed fluctuations, if there are any speed fluctuations for any increase of load, and the ratings are the main important characteristics we have to use in the, we have to see, observe in the steady state operation requirements. Okay, and coming to the transient operation requirements, the values of accelerations and decelerations we have to observe mostly. And what is the starting, at the time of starting, what is the starting torque, and what are the braking and recovery performances also, or and braking performance and reversing performance and recovery performance also we have to take into account. And these third choice will be depending upon the requirements related to the sources. The type of source we are using, is it low power or high power, or very high power or medium power, the type of source and its capacity. Okay, and magnitude of voltage and voltage fluctuations, power factor, harmonics and their effect on the other loads also. We are not dependable on only one load. That load will be connected to other load, and that load will be synchronized to other loads. So these voltage fluctuations and the harmonics produce the effect of the other loads also. And the voltage fluctuations also will be affecting the synchronizer loads. So we have to take into account all these, and ability to accept the generated power also we have to take. Okay, and these are the main operation requirements, and with these there are sub operation choices also. So fourth one we can take that into account is capital and running cost, and maintenance also we have to take. Maintenance and life also, what is the durability of that machine we have to take into account. And depending upon the space and weight restrictions, fifth one is space and weight restrictions. If any, if we have to consider the space and weight also. And sixth one is environmental and location, depending upon the environment, is it indoor or outdoor, we have to consider that one also. And last one is reliability. Okay, so each one is important, but the main first three are important. And next we are going, these are the basics of the electrical drives, and now we are going to know the fundamental components of torque equation. What is torque equation, and what are the main fundamentals, and what are the main basics of this torque equation. And thus this torque equation will be comprising of many torques. We have to discuss all the types of torques here. So actually, what is the motor? A motor drives a load. So this driving of motor through a load is done by transmission systems. Okay, so this motor drives a load through the transmission systems. While the motor is rotating, this motor is connected to the load. So while the motor is rotated, load will also be rotated. Okay, and this load will be this rotation will be undergoing a translation motion. So the rotation motion is technically called as translation motion. Okay, so this load may be different. This load may be different from the motor, because load speed will be one type of speed, and one speed, and motor will be in other speed. And if loads are having different parts, if in the load again the load is having different parts, their speeds will also be different. Okay, so these are depending upon the torques only. So if you see the diagram here, this is the motor torque T, and this is connected to the shaft, through the shaft to the load, and with the twisting force Wm, this is a angular, omega m is the angular velocity. So this is the load torque. This is the equivalent motor load system. Okay, where these are the abbreviations here, where J is the capital J is termed as polar momentum of inertia. So this is for motor load system, both motor load system, and this is mainly referred to the motor shaft, and the units are kgs per meter square. J is simply polar moment of inertia. Okay, next omega m is all we know, instantaneous angular velocity of the motor shaft, and this is, there are the units of radians per second. Omega angular velocity, radians per second. Okay, and next torque is instantaneous value of developed motor torque. This is the instantaneous value of developed motor torque, and this torque unit will be newtons per meter. All the torques, different types of torques will be in newtons per meters only. And last torque is TL. This TL is load torque, that is instantaneous value of resisting torque, or it can be also termed as load torque. This is also referred to the motor shaft only, and the units are newtons per meters. Okay, and this load torque, the last torque, this load torque, it mainly consists, it includes different types of torques. So mainly it includes friction and windage torques of the motor. Okay, so both friction and windage torques of the motor will be considered in this load torque. So if you see this diagram, this is the equivalent motor load system. This equivalent motor load system will be described by the fundamental torque equation. See here, this is the fundamental torque equation. From this, for simplicity, we are reducing it. See here, T minus TL is equal to, TL is the load torque, T minus TL is equal to d by dt of j omega m. So if you elaborate this d by dt of j omega m, you will get capital J d omega t, d omega m by dt plus omega m dj by dt. Okay, so this is, this equation, above equation what you are seeing, it is applicable to only variable inertia drives. So what are the variable inertia drives? Such as winders, industrial robots, wheel drives, example. Okay, so for such drives, the inertia will be constant. There will be constant inertia. So we can eliminate this term, second term. So if you eliminate this second term, we will get T minus TL. This is sent to the right hand side, left hand side. So T is equal to TL plus J into d omega by dt. So this is called as dynamic torque. This second term is called as dynamic torque. J into d omega m by dt. Okay, so if you observe the second equation, we can able to know that torque developed by the motor, it is counterbalanced by a load torque TL, and the dynamic torque J into d omega m by dt component. Okay, so this is called as dynamic torque, and it is represented during the transient operation only, because in steady state operations this momentum will be zero, so no momentum operations, only it is present in transient operations. Okay, and the drive which accelerate or decelerates will be depending upon these two torque values. If motor torque is greater than load torque, the drive will be accelerating. If motor torque is less than load torque, the drive will be decelerating, right? So for acceleration purpose, load torque, the motor, for acceleration purpose, the motor will be supplying both TL and dynamic torque. Okay, so if you are having large inertia, suppose in electric trains we are having large inertia, so at that time we can say that motor torque is greater than the load torque. Okay, and coming to the fast response, fast transient responses, if you want very fast transient responses, the motor torque will be equal to a high peak value and low inertia will be there. If the motor exists high torque, then inertia will be automatically decreased. So in dynamic torque, energy will be stored in the form of kinetic energy. This one, in dynamic torque, the energy will be stored in the form of kinetic energy, j omega m square by d, sorry, 2, j omega m square, j omega m square by 2. Okay, so next, for deceleration, for acceleration we have to take positive symbols, and for deceleration the dynamic torque will be taken as negative. For dynamic torque we have to put negative sign. Okay, so we will see what are the different torque components of load torques. Okay, load torque TL, small l, T suffix small l, this is having mainly three types of components of load, and in these also they are having subclassifications. Okay, first one friction torque. So if the motor shaft is moving, various parts of the motor shaft also will be moving. Okay, so the friction when the moving is done on rotation purpose on one thing, if the rotation is done on other one, there will be a friction force. So this friction will be present at the motor shaft, and this will also be present at various parts of the load also. Okay, so this is denoted as TF. It is the equivalent value of various friction torques referred to the motor shaft. So referred to the motor shaft, we have to calculate various friction torques. And second one is windage torque. Okay, so windage torque means when the motor runs, wind energy will be generated. So wind generates will be opposing the torque, that is opposing the rotation of the machine. Okay, so when the motor runs, wind generates, and a torque will be opposed. The torque will be opposed to the motion. So that's why it is called as windage torque. And the third torque is the torque required to do useful mechanical work. Okay, so useful mechanical work torque will be denoted as TL. Load torque means T small l, and mechanical work torque means T capital L. Please do remember that. So this useful torque, which is useful for doing mechanical work, is dependable upon particular application it is used. Okay, so suppose if it is used for constant and independent of speed, there will be one type, and second one is it is function of speed also. Okay, it depends upon the speed, and it is dependent on the position or path followed by the load also, and it is time invariant and time variant, both may be possible here, and these vary cyclically, and the nature also changes with loads, and with modes of operation also the nature changes. So in the next figure we can see the variation of friction with the speed. Okay, so if you see the friction, there will be some amount of friction at the running positions, But at the standing positions also, standstill positions also, frictions will be there, because if you overcome those frictions only, we will be having some torque. Okay, so it is slightly above than the zero speed, and this friction at the standstill or this friction at the zero speed is called as friction or static friction. Whatever you can remember, you can remember. STA, sorry, STICTION, stiction. Okay, so if you see the figure, these are the friction torques and its components. What we are calling the friction at the time of starting, it is called as friction. Okay, in order to start a drive, on a drive, compulsory the motor torque will be greater than the friction, right? So if the motor torque will be greater than the friction only, the motor will be start. Okay, again the friction torque can be resolved into three components. Okay, the friction torque will be resolved into three components. The first one is TV, viscous friction. This is equal to B into omega m, where we know that B is viscous friction coefficient and omega m is angular velocity. Okay, and other component of friction torque is Coulomb torque. This will be independent of speed. And the last type is, this is the additional torque present at the standstill. Okay, so if there is in standstill position, there will be some extra torque that is termed as nothing but TS. But there is no dynamic analysis for this TS. Okay, so this is a friction torque. It is resolved into three components: TV, TC, and TS. TV viscous friction, TC Coulomb friction, and TS is the additional force at the additional torque at the standstill. So windage torque actually windage torque will be directly proportional to speed square. Okay, so from this expression, from this windage torque is directly proportional to speed square. So from this expression, we can say that TW is equal to C omega m square, where C is constant here. Okay. So from the above discussion, for finite speeds, not infinite speeds, for finite speeds, we can say that total torque TL. 1 minute. So the total torque TL is equal to load torque is equal to the mechanical work required to do the mechanical work required to do is that type of torque is T capital L plus B omega m, that is nothing but B omega m means viscous friction, plus Coulomb friction, and TS it is not having any dynamic analysis, so we have to eliminate that, plus C into omega square, that is windage torque. Because total torque, load torque will be equal to friction torque, windage torque, and mechanical work torque. Okay, so this is the mechanical work torque, this is the friction torque, these both are friction torques, and this is the windage torque. Okay, so out of this, the windage torque and the Coulomb torque, when compared to BM, these are very, very less values. So if I omit these two, the total torque will be T is equal to TL plus B omega m plus J into D omega m by dt. Okay, so this is the basic torque equation. So dynamic torque plus load torque plus B omega m. B omega m is nothing but viscous friction. So in the with these torques, additionally extra torque is there. A torsional elasticity due to the torsional elasticity. There is here this torsional elasticity will be there in the shaft, coupling to the load to the motor. Okay, so if a load is coupled to the motor, on the shaft there will be a torsional elasticity. So this type of additional component of load torque is called as coupling torque. Okay, so this coupling torque is called as TE. Coupling torque is T suffix E, that is Ke into theta E, where Ke is the torsional angle of coupling. The units of this is radians per radians, only radians. And Ke, it is the rotational stiffness of the shaft. Okay, so this rotational stiffness, the units are newtons per meters load. Next one is nature and classification of load torques. See, the nature of the load, it means depends upon the application. Okay, for low speed hoist, there will be one type of torque, and for high speed, there will be other type of torque. Okay, so this is the nature and classification of load. See here, for constant, for low speed hoist, we take constant torque, and this constant torque will be independent of speed also. And in the second case, TW is neglected here. And if TW is neglected, the net torque will be equal to gravity, that is constant torque. Okay, for example, if you see in the household appliances, fans, compressors, aeroplanes, centrifugal pumps, ship propellers, boilers, high speed hoists, traction, these are the example of the case where TL is a function of N, speed. And if you observe the figure A, in fans, compressors and aeroplanes, this windage, the windage torque dominates. So we can write that TL is directly proportional to speed square. Okay, so due to this, we can write TL is directly proportional to speed square. Next one, windage. This windage is the opposition offered by air to motion. That means in order to rotate the shaft, we have to